I still remember the way the clock ticked that night, slow, heavy, and accusing. Each tick felt like a heartbeat I didn't want to hear. A reminder that I was waiting for a woman who no longer wanted to be saved. Maya was late again. Our therapist had warned me about keeping score, but when you're trying to rebuild a marriage after betrayal, time becomes a scoreboard of its own. Every minute she spent away from home felt like another point against us. When she finally walked in, the smell of someone else's cologne entered with her. Not strong, faint, almost polite, but it hit me harder than any slap could. "Traffic," she said, hanging her coat. Her voice was casual, light. Too light. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. "Therapy starts in 10 minutes. I said quietly, trying to keep my tone steady. "We can still make it if we leave now." She hesitated. Her eyes flicked toward the couch, toward the safety of avoidance. "I'm not going today," she said, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "I'm tired, Daniel. I just need a night off." A night off? From me? From trying? From the mess she'd made when I caught those messages 8 months ago? The ones she swore meant nothing? I nodded slowly. "Sure," I said. "Take the night off." But deep down, something in me cracked. 8 months earlier, when I first found out, I didn't scream. I didn't throw things or demand answers. I just stared at her phone, reading the messages over and over. "You make me feel alive again. Last night was perfect. Wish I could wake up next to you." Her name was on every bubble. When I confronted her, she crumbled. She said it was a mistake, that she was lost, that she didn't even know why she'd done it. I loved her, still do in some broken way, so I stayed. I told her we could fix this, that therapy could help. I told myself that forgiveness was strength, not denial. We started seeing Dr. Patel every Tuesday at 6. The first few sessions were brutal. Maya cried, I yelled, we both blamed ourselves in circles until we were too exhausted to keep fighting. But slowly I began to see glimpses of hope. We started having dinner together again. We laughed sometimes. She'd reach for my hand in public. Then came the silences. The subtle distance. The night she came home late again, claiming she'd worked late, or grabbed drinks with coworkers. And the way she started to look at me, not with guilt or affection but pity. Therapy session 31. Dr. Patel folded her hands and looked between us. Maya, you've said before that you feel disconnected from Daniel. What does that disconnection feel like? Maya exhaled heavily. Like I'm pretending. Like we're acting out some version of love we used to have. Her words hit like shards of glass. And you, Daniel? Dr. Patel asked gently. How does that make you feel? I wanted to say angry, betrayed, exhausted. But all that came out was, scared. That I'm the only one still fighting. Maya turned to me, her eyes soft. You're not the only one fighting, Daniel. You're just the only one who still believes it's worth it. The session ended early that day. For the next few weeks I tried harder. I cooked her favorite meals. I wrote her letters like we were 20 again. I took her to the park where we first kissed. But she was gone in every way that mattered. I'd catch her staring at her phone with that small secret smile. She'd put it face down the moment I entered the room. Once I asked, is there someone else again? She looked me in the eye and said, there doesn't have to be someone else for me not to want this. That night I slept on the couch. Not because she told me to, but because the bed smelled like her shampoo and the ghost of a woman who didn't love me anymore. The breaking point. It happened in our final therapy session. Dr. Patel started with her usual calm voice. So, how have things been this week? Silence. I looked at Maya. She wouldn't meet my eyes. Maya, the therapist pressed. Finally she spoke. I think I'm done pretending. Dr. Patel's pen stopped mid-sentence. Done pretending? Maya nodded. I don't want to change. Not for him. Not for anyone. She said it like she was confessing, not apologizing. I've spent 8 months trying to be the version of me Daniel wants. Forgiving, patient, in love again, and I'm not her. I can't keep trying to be. I felt my throat close up. You don't want to try anymore? She turned to me then. Her eyes were wet but steady. No. I want to be honest, even if it hurts you. The air left the room. Dr. Patel murmured something about taking time to process, about letting go with grace, but I barely heard her. I looked at my wife, the woman I'd built a life with, dreamed with, suffered for. and realized she wasn't mine anymore. Maybe she never had been. That night I packed a bag. Not out of anger. Anger had burned itself out months ago, but out of self-preservation. I folded my clothes quietly, taking only what was necessary. A few shirts, some photos, my grandmother's watch. Maya stood in the doorway wearing that gray sweater I used to love on her. "You're leaving," she said softly. I zipped the suitcase. "You said you don't want to change. So I will." She nodded, tears spilling over. I didn't want it to end like this. Neither did I. I paused. But endings don't ask for permission. She reached out, fingers trembling, but I stepped back. If I touched her, I'd stay. And staying would mean dying slowly. A month later. My new apartment is small, one bedroom, sparse furniture. A view of the city lights that look better than they feel. I still catch myself reaching for the extra toothbrush in the bathroom. I still wake up expecting her hand on my chest. But silence isn't heavy anymore. It's peaceful. Therapy taught me that healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning to live with what's left. Maya texted once, a simple "I hope you're okay." I typed and deleted a dozen responses before finally sending I hope you are too. No reply. Maybe that's for the best. Sometimes I drive past our old house. The curtains are different now. The lights are warm. Maybe she's happy, or maybe she's just learning to be alone like me. Either way, I no longer ache to go back. I used to think betrayal was the worst pain imaginable. The knife that ends everything. But now I know it's what comes after that truly hurts. The slow rebuilding of yourself when you no longer recognize who you were. Still, piece by piece, I'm learning. To cook for one. To sleep in silence. To smile without pretending. And maybe someday to love again. Not as a man trying to fix what's broken, but as one who finally knows when to walk away. Because when she said, "I don't want to change," I thought it meant I wasn't enough. But now I understand it meant she wasn't willing to grow. And so, I did what she wouldn't. I changed. I changed my address. I changed my life. And most of all, I changed me.